Me and a mate of mine on the sunny coast tried to start a podcast a couple of years ago now, and we basically did it stoned every time. And whenever the camera would come on, like we'd be having a normal conversation, like right, let's get into it. And as soon as the camera would come on, just both be like, I don't know, it's hard, eh?
Yeah.
Just went like completely retarded. But
It's not
since
easy.
Nah, it's not. But I think being stoned didn't help because you're thinking too much about what was going on rather than just getting into the conversation.
I would have being stoned would stop you from thinking.
I think it would. Like since then, since sort of maybe getting a little bit better with a microphone, like doing the comedy and that sort of shit,
Yeah.
and being a bit more comfortable around the camera, or
Yeah.
having people watch you or whatever. I think a stone podcast could be really cool.
I thought you were going to say getting better at being stoned.
Mate, I've been practicing that for years.
Yeah, mastered it yet?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, welcome to, I think you should hear this, Jack Russell. It's a pleasure to be at your space up in Darwin and have this conversation.
I was going to say thanks for having me, but I'm having you.
It's true. The pleasure is mine. I'll take it. It's cool to be able to have the opportunity to chat about all the things you're doing and that you've done and what you are yet to achieve that you plan on achieving as well. Because I think we spoke about it as well. The Darwin comedy scene is a small but growing one. And I see it, or I'm sure you see it too, exceeding past Darwin.
Yeah, look, the last 18 months here and getting into comedy and sort of being back in Darwin, for me, like growing up here, Darwin's got a special spot in my heart and always had. And then coming back here and introducing the comedy scene into my life at the same time has been really cool. And the people I meet through that, like we sort of touched on before, growing up around in a small country town, any sort of creativity or outside the box sort of thinking, outside that football, cricket, beers, girls, drugs in later life, it was shut down pretty quick. So then, yeah, stepping away from that and traveling and then meeting new people and actually starting to think like, fuck, everyone's cool. Like not everyone's cool. Obviously there's bad people in the world, but everyone's we're all just people at the core. And when you're younger, you put people into boxes and categories in school. That's schoolyard shit. That still happens in workplaces and all that. But the comedy scene for me has really highlighted the fact that differences in people can be like the most beautiful thing. Like the only thing that I have in common with a lot of the guys and girls at comedy is that we love comedy and we appreciate that. So like there's such a weird crew of people, all with creative minds, and then I'm meeting people as well that do burlesque and fucking dance and sing and shit that I've never even heard of. But it's a completely different world and it's really good fun. And I think the Darwin comedy scene is growing. I didn't really know it, obviously, before I stepped into it. But since I've started, there's probably been 6, 7, maybe 10 people start that are still doing it. I think comedy's something that people come into and they give it a go and then they leave. But we've got a really sort of solid crew of guys and girls that are within that 18-month period of starting comedy. And yeah, it's just a really fun place to be. And you were there last night. It's a safe space and everyone after the gig stays around and has a chat, and yeah, it's awesome for that.
I definitely think, looking at the audience and all the other people that are comedians, even the 3 people that jumped on stage yesterday, and the like Jay as well, that was there on the buttons and whatnot. You would never picture you 4 in the same room ever, just looking at you. But then, comedy is something that brings you all together. A common theme in most of the podcasts I have is like the importance of community. And like you said, a small country town, footy, it's if you're not doing what I'm doing and what everyone else is doing, I don't want to know you. So it's so cool that you can find a space where it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you look like, you can find a common ground and share the experience.
Not only that we all share something in common, but it's also a very creative space. So everyone's got different ideas. And I think people that started comedy too, if you've started comedy, you've thought about doing it for a couple of years. So you've got ideas, you've got things you want to do. Like meeting Rachel behind the bar, she came to Darwin and basically was here for 2 months and said, hey, like she approached me and said, I want to put on a show. I want to do a show with you. Are you interested? And I got no fucking idea how to run a show, set up a show, advertise a show, whatever. But sweet, that's your thing. You are in control of that. You've got a vision. It's not my vision, but I'm there for it, you know, like why shouldn't your vision be as good, or why shouldn't your stuff work out the way that I think or I would like to think? Well, no one knows whether anything they do is going to work, but, and then Michael Cox as well, another bloke in there, he's doing, what's it called? Chinwag, Darwin Chinwag. So he basically asked me, can you come out and film me? I want to do it's like street talk in Darwin.
Yeah, cool.
Which is a fucking fantastic idea.
Absolutely.
So many characters in Darwin. You go down Mitchell Street on a Saturday night and there's just characters. Like Darwin attracts people from all over the world, different walks of life. And I thought it was a fantastic idea. So I was like, fucking oath, I'll shoot that for you. And we've done a couple of them and they're funny as. He's a unit doing that with him. And then that's his vision. That's his goal. It's not mine, but you need help. You help each other out. And we're all sort of, you're there for it. And you have to be. I think helping other people achieve their shit is just as important as achieving your own. I heard a quote only the other day that success isn't measured by what you achieve, but what you can inspire other people to achieve. That I thought was really cool, because if you are inspiring other people, sort of like what you're doing and the path that you've sort of gone down, you are succeeding in helping other people. And in turn, that's making you a better person, make the people around you the best that they can be. Yeah, and that's that community, which is hard to get right. But when you have a common ground or you're passionate about something, yeah, it works.
I think passion's a big one, because you know what's inside of you and the things you want to create, and seeing that in other people, and then wanting to help them achieve that vision, because you know how good you would feel to have your goals achieved. I know how good this feels for me. I'd love to help someone else feel that feeling as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm the same. Like any of my mates, like when they were DJing in Melbourne, I'd be like, yep, I'll drive you to the gig. Like, yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, you hope it gets returned when it's your turn.
Yeah. But I think you need to do things and not expect anything in return.
Yeah.
You, like, the universe works, that works itself out. And you're not always going to get back from people what you give them. I found that quite clearly. I was like, the last sort of few years of me living down south in the country town, like, I found myself getting really frustrated with the things that I would do for people and what I knew that I would do for some of my mates, and then the return that I was getting back. I sort of got to a point where I was like, fuck, I sort of know that I would do more for you guys than you would do for me. Not that that stopped me from doing any of those things, but it was like a realization, like sometimes you just don't get that back, and that's fine. Other people are in different sort of stages in life and see the world differently, and everyone grows at different paces, but I definitely felt that in my last sort of few years there around that scene, and that's why I've travelled and left, and since leaving in 2018, I've done my own thing and ended up here, and I'm doing what I want to be doing, and I'm in this scene that I love, and yeah, that was through just, I don't know, not chasing anything, but just going somewhere, just going.
Yeah, I think it's a common story of like country town people, and like my mum was talking about this, so she's from south of Dunedin, and one of her friends posted on Facebook the other day. Mum was telling me, why do you need to go see the rest of the world before you explore your own backyard? There's so much to see here. And she was like, that's exactly why I left there. There's so much of like, you think there's so much in your town. Imagine like if you broadened your horizons a bit, there's so many people just get stuck in the comfortability of home. It's safe. There's so much out there, but people don't want to go. So you just got to leave.
That is a life for some people, though. A couple of my mates that still live down there, they enjoy it. Like, one of my best mates, Cal, he is a sort of fellow that could go anywhere, be anyone. He's a very likeable guy. But he didn't, but had some things growing up. His old man passed away early, and he was very involved in the footy club. So, no, I can see sort of he stayed, because of that comfortability of being around family and stuff. But I go back and visit him now, and he lives 100 metres from the gym. He lives 200 metres away from the footy oval. He's got a kid. He's got his missus. He's at home. Hasn't seen a lot of the world, but he's content. And that is fine for some people. But when you go back, or like you said, as soon as you leave, you realise how small those fucking small town problems are. Who's seeing who's doing what. As soon as I get back there, hey, did you hear that so-and-so's seeing someone, or so-and-so to this? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I could not give a fuck what they're doing. And I remember actually I was overseas. I'd been over in Central America for 12 months, and I had a group of 26 of my friends come over to see me, partly because I had 50-50, because we had another mate who went over there before me. He started a hostel in Antigua, Guatemala. And then when I first went to Central America, first within a month, I was in Guatemala, and the plan was to we renovated this homestead and turned it into a hostel. So the first 4 months of me being overseas was working hard, renovating this hostel. And anyway, so about 12 months later, the crews come to check out the hostel, see me, see my mate. It was a big thing. And we had a hostel party. There's fucking people everywhere. It's so much fun. And we're upstairs doing some lines and having a chat with a few of the boys. And they start talking about shit that's going on back home. Fucking this person sleeping with this person. Oh, this is so annoying. And I remember thinking, this is the exact same shit that you guys are talking about before I left. And I said to them, it was they were sort of halfway through it, and I was like, oh, can I go? And they're like, why? And I'm like, mate, there's a fucking party going on downstairs, and we're up here talking about this stuff doesn't matter. It matters to you guys because you're still in it, but I just have no interest in hearing about what fucking Joe Blow down the road's doing, or who he's been doing, or who he hasn't been doing, But yeah, look, again, small country towns and that, they have their place and they're a good place to raise a family and all that. But for me, I don't know if growing up in Darwin, a lot of those people, their families growing up there and everything, we sort of just moved there. I always had a desire to leave. Was pretty very involved in footy, captain the senior side in 2017 and 2018. And then I had my overseas trip booked for the end of that year, and I was going to, Golden World, retire a premiership captain and go overseas and never play footy again. But we lost that granny. And then I come and play for Bank 6 years later and tear my hamstring in the fucking warm-up.
Yep. Funny how the world works.
Yeah, she's a brutal game, footy.
Yeah, fuck.
But yeah, growing up in that town, I think really shaped me as a young man. My old man stayed here when we left Darwin. Mum and Dad split up when I was about 9. And I look back now and I clung to football coaches. I clung to adult figures that were directing me. And I was lucky to have some really good football coaches as a junior. And I think that these men as well saw me and my twin brother and a single mum from Darwin. And they, and that's part of your job as a coach, is not only to teach kids how to play football, but teach them to become men and respectful. And in those small country towns, the footy club is so tied up with whatever's going on in town. So I'd wake up on Sunday morning from missed calls from my coach telling me about shit that I did the night before. They knew straight away. So you never got away with fucking playing up. You always had to apologise and own up to what you did. And I hated that at the time, but it made me into a respectful person, and went from being a fair rat bag, in my early years as seniors, to captaining the side. I had school teachers and stuff that I was still in school and I was their senior captain, which was cool. And I realised as well, once I started doing all these right things and I was playing good footy, and when I spoke, they listened. And that was a really cool feeling to be respected by people that you respect so much and looked up to growing up. You remember as a junior watching the seniors, they're like your heroes.
Yeah.
You think they're so far away from what you are, and then within a few years you're there. And I remember in the second year being captain, my thirds coach was still coaching the under-17s, legend, Daryl Bowden, shout out. But his wife, I did part of my apprenticeship with him and his company. His wife was very involved in the building company, and they did a survey with the kids, the little handout sheet in the thirds and fourths. How are you enjoying training? What drills do you like? Just a general improvement sort of thing. And the last thing was, who's your favourite player? Who's your favourite senior player? And I was all these kids' favourite senior player. And it was what the fuck? 4 or 5 years ago, I was, I'm them. And now you're I've got all these kids that are, without even really knowing, they're looking at me and they're looking up to me, and they're I was looking up to the boys, I want to be like him.
Yeah. I think they're looking up to you.
Well, it's senior captain for a start. That gives you a fucking tick. And I wouldn't have got that position if I wasn't doing the right things. We still played up, but I definitely pulled back away from the drinking, and I was really dedicated to winning a flag. We had a good side. We'd been in prelims for sort of the 3 years before I got the captaincy. So we were knocking on the door, and I knew that. We all knew that. And I knew that, I needed to, if the captain's fucking playing up, then
yeah,
gives everyone permission to do the same. If I'm not taken seriously, then no one else is. So, yeah, it's probably just that. I was playing good footy. Kids like that shit.
Yep. Kids like that shit. It's true, they do. They respect someone who can walk the walk.
Yeah.
Because you can tell a younger person how to play footy, what to do, but if you're fucking shit,
Yeah.
they're not going to trust you.
I think it was like, I don't think I was ever the best footballer, but I was always committed to a contest and to my mates, and I would be, you know, to go down early and join in with the thirds. And I was once I saw sort of how this was my first senior coach, when he would ring me on a Sunday or a Monday and just ask how I was doing and started to build this relationship with me, I realised how important that was. I started doing that around the club as well, with players that were sort of on the fringe of twos and ones, treating everyone that, like, you know, you've got your top 5 players and they get treated like superstars. And the bottom few players, you sort of like, you know, they'll always train and they'll be there. I made it sort of my mission, subconsciously or consciously, I'm not sure, but to make those people feel included, and like they were, like everyone was equal mates with me. Everyone had my equal respect amongst the side.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know, that resonates with people. If they feel like you respect them, then they respect you pretty much.
Yeah, they're more likely to give you time of day. One thing I remember when we first met is I overheard you saying, I don't know if it was to like our captain or I don't know what you were saying to, but it was like something that you took on from a coach or a captain, and that was the importance of knowing everyone's name.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that, and I was like, fuck, I like this guy.
Yeah. So that was
important. Yeah.
That was Liam Ritchie.
Yeah.
And when we were going around, I think I said it to the coach. I said it to the coach because I'd learnt all the players' names off their nicknames. And on the whiteboard, it had all their real last names. And I'm looking at this board going, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
And he was sort of calling them out. And that's when I was like, oh, yeah, we need to fucking learn each other's names. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fuck, that's the most important part of a fucking relationship.
100%.
You got to know someone's name.
Because if you've got the footy and someone's gone, oi, what's the name?
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Yeah, he doesn't even care about me. So
yeah.
It does. It makes you feel included and welcomed and appreciated if someone knows your name. It takes the time of day to find out your name at least.
Yeah. Good sides are good mates. Good sides are teams. Good players get you so far. A good team where everyone's mates and on the same level get you so much further.
I think that's why we had so much success last year, is because we all spent so much time together, got along with each other.
Banks is fantastic for that, the social side of it, and having the girls footy involved. Those girls are so good. That was the first time I had, in 2018, Town. They've got women's footy now, but they didn't. There was a netball club, but the girls just made that season so much fun. I was wondering how it would go, but the girls are awesome. Yeah, love having them around.
It wouldn't be the same. They do all the organising.
Oh, they're so good. I used to go to footy functions and there's shit organised. It's not just sitting around a pub smacking piss with the boys. Yeah.
Sure. Touching on last season, you left for a South America trip. I really want to get into that one. And obviously there's a story. So when you come back, I asked you, because you said you're in South America and you said you went to Peru. So the obvious question for me is, did you try ayahuasca? And you said you did. And we haven't spoken about it. So I'd love to hear about your experience, because from what I observed after seeing you come back from that, there was definitely a change. So I'd want to know what come up for you in that experience.
Yeah.
I know Rachel wants to know as well.
Yeah, it's a lot. Once you sort of do it and you go through it, you realise that you've sort of been getting there for a while. They say that ayahuasca like calls you, like if you chase it, it's sort of not meant to be. So the idea, like the South American trip, like I did the Central America trip, but I stayed in Mexico and Central America about 1.5 years. I never got down south. Colombia's as far as I got. So I always wanted to go back. My Spanish got pretty good in that time. I wanted to go back and just sort of finish it off. And I had a mate that was keen to come with me. It's a good mate of mine, Hamish. Best mates growing up. We've lived together in Darwin. We've been all over the place together. He was keen, and we're really good mates. We get along. I knew we'd travel together well. So we threw up the idea of ayahuasca before we left, because he really wanted to do it. He struggles with depression and anxiety, and the sort of 10 months before we went, we were living on the sunny coast he came off his antidepressants. Like he got addicted to meth for like 8 months in Melbourne, went to rehab for 9 months, turned his life around, and like proud of him for doing it. Not a lot of people come out the other side the way he has, but he still, I think even before that may have been part of the reason he sort of got on it, but depression and anxiety were really prevalent. And I, being a good mate of his, I know, and I could see it, like I'd be me and him are fine. As soon as we get in social situations, I'd see him close up or just act differently. So wanted to do it, and I said, mate, I'll do it with you. I never went. I am lucky. I think I have a really clear and level mind, and I never look. I think I will do counselling and stuff. I want to do it. There's things I think I've probably pushed down, but wasn't really going. I didn't really think that I needed it, but I was really wanting to do it because I had some questions of myself. It wasn't so much that I needed healing, but I had some questions that I thought I'd ask. But so we're looking into it and we're going, righto. So the preparation for it is basically a month off the piss, the drugs. It's all natural, clean eating. So there's no red meat. There's no sugar, there's no coffee. Coffee and all that, it gets more strict sort of 2 weeks out. And we only had 8 weeks. So we're like, sort of went away from the idea like, oh, fuck that. We've only got 8 weeks. We're going to be going hard. We're going to party in South America. Maybe we don't have time for that. So we went to Chile just before New Year's. We flew out on Boxing Day. We partied New Year's, partied for probably 10 days straight. And it just wasn't the same as when I went over. Like we're pulling up like shit, spending days in hostel beds. Like 2 weeks into the trip was looking at flights home. Yeah. Because I was like, fuck this, man. Like I can't keep, I don't know. It just wasn't clicking. Chile was hard. It was hard to get around. It was expensive. Argentina was the same. They had a new change of government. So it was expensive and I wasn't really enjoying it. So we said, right, we'll go to Peru and we'll get off the piss. We'll just start with that. And we'll start doing some hiking and all that sort of thing. It was like pretty funny because sort of when we were coming down in this hostel room, like sort of a few days before we were going to Peru, we were having all these demons as you do. And we're like, fuck, maybe we do need ayahuasca. Again, looking back on it now, I think we needed that bender to push us to doing the sober part. As soon as we got to Peru, that's when the trip sort of started for me. We got off the piss and we sort of smoke weed. We sort of smoke a joint in the afternoon and we go for a walk and we find a little place to eat, all these fun little markets and everything. And him and I smoked a lot of weed together. We always have. We always enjoyed each other's company. And I remember being like, fuck, man, why haven't we been doing it? Look, this is heaps better. We're sitting down eating nice food and having nice conversations. So we started looking at ayahuasca retreats and we found one called Etnica's. It was out of Cusco. We were going up to Cusco to do Machu Picchu. So I started looking at that. It was $1,100 for 3 days. There was other ones like two and a half for the 5 days or $3,000 for 10 or whatever. Yeah.
10 days, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pretty full on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we decided we'd do it. Got to Cusco sort of 2 weeks before we booked in and we were pretty strict. Like we were eating chicken, just chicken soup, chicken veggie soups, lots of fruit. Lots of veg, and doing a heap more hiking. Hamish hurt himself in Arequipa, which is in the desert. You would have seen like all the sand dunes and stuff, and people do the snowboarding down the sand dunes. So he hurt his knee there. So I was doing a lot of these hikes solo, and I did the Machu Picchu hike solo as well. I was the thing called the Inca Trail. There's a few different trails you can do, but I did the Inca Trail, which is a 4-day trek, and you can get guides and everything. But I spoke to a Dutch gay couple, actually. A couple of girls that had done it by themselves and they said it's easy. You just book in hostels and sort of told me how to do it. So I was like, all right, I'll do it like that. So did the Machu Picchu hike and then he met me there. We did you can get the train there if you want. Did Machu Picchu together and then we're like, I think it was a couple of days after that we were going to do the ayahuasca. So we go to this little square that we were getting picked up from and met this guy, Jason, who was from the States. And he's like, you boys here for the Ethnicas? And it was all very awkward at the start, like none of us didn't really know what we were getting into. We get on this bus and we're going up. We were going a couple of hours away up into the mountains. And then sort of as the time went on, a few more people sort of rolled in. There was a girl from Canada, a couple of girls from Canada, a guy from Hong Kong, and the guy from America, he'd been through some shit and he's like, I've been looking at ayahuasca retreats for sort of years. And he said, this is the one that I've landed on and this seems like the best one. And So me and Hamish were stoked because we just done a bit of fucking Googling and sort of landed on that. So we were like, okay, cool. I think we've picked a good joint. Anyway, so get there, get the bus. It's a really beautiful spot. One sort of road in, you're up in these lodges. There's this big mountain. Like the mountains in Peru are unbelievably big. You know, we don't have anything like that in Australia. Like it's like you're looking at something that was fake. So there's this massive mountain that towers where we were. It was definitely the focal point of where we were. Meet the staff there, and they've got nurses, they've got doctors. We had to do heart tests and everything. So it's ayahuasca, but with a bit more modern medicine because it can be pretty dangerous. So they just check you. They do a cardio check and make sure that you're fit to take the plant. They do like an opening ceremony, and the first night you're there. We're only there for the 3 days, so we did a ceremony the first night, ceremony the second night, and then we left on the third day. So the first night, yeah, like I said, man, there's a lot to it. I sort of have to brush over it a little bit, but you meet the shaman. Shaman's just chilling on cocoa leaves the whole time. He's like the happiest dude you've ever seen. And then there's this she's the, what do they call her? Like medicine lady. And her background is that her grandmother were like Amazon people, and they
worked for Amazon, like delivering.
I know they like the people in the Amazon have used ayahuasca for years for hunting, for being in touch with nature, for like that. They would do group sessions, and the hunters in the tribe would all have the same vision. And the plant would tell them where the food is, what they're doing wrong. Like it's if you go into the depths of what this plant is, and also the chances, this is where they say it's a plant from the gods, and it has to be because the billion species of plants in the Amazon rainforest, the likeliness of them figuring out that you mix this root, it's a root, and a leaf. You just so happen to put that in a burning pot and cook it for 24 hours straight a certain way, and then drink it, and you get these spiritual visions. Like, you don't just stumble across that. You know, that's ancient medicine passing down. You know, it's special stuff. And they believe so strongly in it. When they're talking to you, they've got translators, like you have Spanish and English translators, but they're speaking Quechua. It's a different language completely. Sounds nearly more Chinese. But yeah, it's very spiritual straight away, and you have to go in there with an open mindset. And they sort of say to you, you're not going to, it doesn't show you what you want to see, it shows you what you need to see. Opening ceremony, meditation, all that sort of stuff. And you're laying in this sort of like big gazebo, indoor, outdoor, with a big sort of teepee roof over the top of you. Pardon?
Like a yurt?
I don't know what a yurt is, but
like that.
Maybe. Roof like this, sort of. But yeah, so you're on a mattress, you've got blankets because it gets pretty cold up there. And yeah, so they go around and hand you this potion. They ask you if you've had psychedelics before, and they try and gauge your tolerance. And so I think everyone sort of started off with half a shot or a third of a shot. And yeah, so we all drank it at the same time. And the shaman doesn't drink it, but the medicine lady does. And she sits in the corner in the dark. You can't see her. You can sort of see the people next to you. But I was next to Hamish and I was next to Jason. And about 40 minutes in, I wasn't really seeing a lot, but Jason and Hamish were both spewing their guts up. So part of the cleansing process before is about the first time is a cleanse. So the medicine scans your body, and any sort of stuff that's not natural in there, it will expel it. It gets rid of it. You throw up, you shit yourself, all that sort of stuff. Nurses will take you to the toilets. No one shit themselves while I was there, but yeah, people, you put your hand up, to go to the toilet, and the nurse would come over and walk them out of the room, and they'd go. And first night for me, I went to the toilet once, and it's like diarrhea, fine. Hamish and Jason both throwing up. I was the first one to leave. Stayed for about 4 hours, but the only thing that I saw was a little bit of like, it was sort of weird. It was sort of like, so what they say is that she will decide whether she wants to talk to you or not. The first ceremony is sort of about the plant, Mother Aya, sussing you out, seeing whether you're giving yourself enough to her for her to, like, if you're just going there to get off your head and try something new, she'll just fuck off, mate, you know?
Yeah.
So she did. She sort of showed herself to me, but in a really weird way. Like, I sort of started seeing some funny sort of like some lights, and then it was like hard to explain, but there was like just there's all these. It was this shape that was changing into all these different animals. So they say that I is everything. Ayahuasca is everything. It's you, it's me, it's the plants, it's everything is Mother Nature. We're all one. That's what it's sort of trying to show you. And I saw, like, for example, a green caterpillar that turned into the northern lights of Norway, that then turned into a panther, that then turned into a girl's face, that, like, she was just doing all this fucking weird shit. And then there was just like this face in front of me, and it was like a pair of woman's eyes, and then she just fucked off. She was just gone. And I was like, okay. And Hamish and Jason just throwing their cunt up next to me, and I was like, fuck this, I'm going. So I put my hand up, said, can I leave? They said, you feeling okay? I said, yeah, I don't feel anything anymore. I'd like to go. So I left. And the next morning we were sort of talking, we do a debrief about it. We're talking about what happened for us, and everyone's sort of talking their stories. And Jason was sort of saying, like, when he was throwing up, every time he stopped, it felt like I was hugging him. It felt like he was just getting so. And then they also tell you too, when you hear someone throwing up, send them your love. Send them your love through the room. You know that they're going through some stuff, send it to them. And he said that after every time he threw up, he felt love. Like he would sort of lay down, and his story was crazy. He had some demons. He was there to fix some shit. He was like sort of last resort for him. He had the so he was playing video games in his basement with a few friends. SWAT team kicked down the door and held shotguns to all his mates' faces for about 20 minutes, held him, pinned him on the ground, get the fuck on the ground, get the fuck on the ground. Sergeants walked in, gone, fuck, wrong house. And they've all just left. There was no follow-up to see if him and his mates were all right. Like, just a traumatic experience just dumped on him and a few of his mates. Happened to him twice. So they're obviously looking for someone that had a similar address or was next door or something, but that happened to him twice. And then he had, his dad was abusive and, like, very crazy story. And you could see by looking at him, he was not well. But he said that was the first time he's felt love in years. Another girl that was there, she wanted to see her dad killed himself when she was 8 years old. And she remembers being like best friends with him, and she wanted to see him. And she said she spoke to Aya. So Aya seemed to speak to the girls. The girls also actually had conversations with her. None of the guys did. Some of the guys felt her like I sort of did a little bit, but she spoke to the girls. Like, it was like she was sitting at the end of their bed saying, my daughter, I'm here, And this Canadian girl said that I pretty much said, you need to let go. You need to stop chasing your old man. He's not here. You need to let him go. So she was a bit upset by it, but she's like, I sort of needed to hear that, and I accepted that. I tell you that because it comes back later on. It's interesting. Same with Jason. Hamish didn't feel a lot either. Can't remember what Hamish's first night was. I probably should. Anyway, so the second night I went into it a little bit different. Like the first night, because they say try and. I thought I was thinking too much. So the second night I was like, I'm just going to relax. And they did this meditation stuff before it, and they were like, this girl was like, take a deep breath in, feel the love in your heart and send it through to your toes, and breathe in, feel the love in your heart and send it to your calves. And like, I remember thinking like, fucking shut up, like I'd never meditated, and I was just like, the next night I was just going to sort of block her out. I'm just going to get into my zone, think about my family, and think about the questions that I had. Questions that I had were, why am I the way that I am? That being someone who, like, I have mates like Hamish and other people in my life that struggle with depression, anxiety, just sort of struggle with life. And I've sort of not really never have, but I've always been like confident and okay with who I am. And I was sort of like, why is that? Why do I seem to find life okay or easy or fun or, why am I the way that I am? And then second question was, how can I be the best person that I can be for my friends and family? How can I help these people through these times? They were the only two questions I had, and I didn't have any expectations either. I didn't mind if I didn't get any answers. I was there more for Hamish anyway. Anyway, so the second night, I upped the dose. I think I had a 3/4 of a cup. And I remember sort of going into it and sort of starting to see those visions again. And I was like, all right, just relax. And I sort of slumped all the way down. And then it just went fucking, like I was gone. If I opened my eyes, I couldn't see anything. But I was like locked in. I was like, This is taking me somewhere and I'm going. And it says, like, if you fight it, you have a shit time. Like you have to let yourself go to whatever's happening, good or bad. You need to be there for it. So I was like, all right, what's going on? And the word China kept popping up in my head, and I was like, concentrate, like, leave the cunts alone. Like, I don't know why you're thinking about China, but then I remembered, like, it's trying to tell you something. And I was like, all right, what about China? And it shot me through the clouds. Like, all of a sudden I was flying through the clouds. I was soaring, like, away from here, away from wherever the fuck I was. Actually, sorry, at the start, it felt like when I said I was going in and I was just gone, it felt like my body, sorry, I missed a bit. I bought on the way there, I bought this little whistle, this condor. It was a condor, which is the bird of Peru. It's there. They see it as the god sort of bird. And I bought it because we were at a bus stop, and there was this lady trying to sell them. Like, you're always getting sold shit, and you're sort of like, no, thank you, not gonna ask, yes. But this lady had them, and she had a kid that was sitting down, about the same age as my nephew Ted. And the kid was yelling, Mom, Mom, Mom. It's the same in Spanish, same in English, same in Spanish. You let Wolfie in, please. And that reminded me of Ted. And I said, this lady's just trying to feed her kid. How much is it? How much for this whistle? And it was really cool. I've got it here. Ted's already broken it, but you put some water in it and you blow it. It makes bird noises. It's actually pretty cool. So the second night I took that in there with me. And I was just going to hold it. That was sort of me. Yeah, it was just something that I had that reminded, I don't know what it was. I didn't know what it was yet, but I just felt like I wanted to take it in there with me. And when I started to let go, it felt like my whole body was being ripped apart from myself. Like shit was just going everywhere. It's like just the skeleton of me was left. And I had this condor. And in that intense moment, that condor became my brother. That was Daniel. And then, like, looking back on my life, the moment that I was formed, he was there with me. He was there with me. He's been with me from the start. And it was crazy in that moment. He was the only thing in my life that stayed with me. And he was this condor. And I fucking held onto that so tight. I was not letting it go. And then anyway, so I'm soaring through the clouds. And then I just stopped in this really peaceful place. And I was up in the clouds. And there was this temple. And there was this, like, little Chinese man. I've worked out a little bit, I think, what he is. A religion called Taoism. I've had to Google it and find it, but I've touched on that a little bit later on. But there was this little, like, monk samurai, like sort of like a jacked monk, sitting with this headpiece on, and he didn't say anything to me, but he just smiled at me, and it was like he was happy that I'd seen him. And the message that I took from that moment was, you are the reason that you are because you've been here before. This isn't your first life. You've lived through stuff. I feel like that's a lot of stuff they talk about is different lives. Everyone, like Daniel and I, my twin brother, are so different because of our previous lives. So it was basically like the reason that you are okay with who you are, and the reason that you are good at helping people, and that people sort of are drawn to you for that, is because you're sort of wise beyond your 29 years of life. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, for me, that made so much sense. I was like, fuck, all right. Like, it might sound a little bit, hippie, crazy, spiritual, whatever, but it made so much sense. And I was like, okay, sweet. And then so that was really intense, and it sort of started to fade away and started to show me how I needed to be better and how I can help my family. And one of the things was, like, my brother's moved to Darwin. He's got to have a spinal stuff. He's got to have spinal surgery. He's struggled with jobs. He's never really found his place. And I was really trying to get him for a long time to smoke weed with me. I'm like, man, that helps me relax. Maybe that's your thing. And he's just different to me. He didn't want to do it. It's illegal. So that was a big thing for him. And fair enough. Like I said, I could only, push it on him so much. But it showed me, it was like, he said, what you need to do is hug him. He doesn't need you to fix his life. He needs you to love him. Stop trying to push what you think you know onto him. You're not him. You don't know shit, pretty much. Just hug him. Tell him you love him. Tell him you're there for him. And also that and I realise as well, like, us as Russell men, my dad's the same. His dad, his brother, we like solidarity. We like being alone. And it's very important for my mental to be alone. I've learned that over the years, and I know how important that is for me. And I realise with him, live with his partner, he's had a girlfriend since he was 15. He's lived with her since he was 18. He's now got a kid. He needs time to himself, and he doesn't allow himself to do that. He's very busy. He's a very good dad. He's a very good husband. He's works hard, and he's just busy. So was sort of like just try and get him to sit down and relax. No weed, no nothing. Like you can sit out, and I've done it with him. We sit out in the backyard and just say nothing. I say, man, come with me, sit down for half an hour, fuck the dishes, fuck the floors, head's in bed, come and sit down for half an hour. Yeah, well, it's a work in progress. It showed me my sister was next. My sister, we've sort of disconnected. I had our differences growing up, but it just told me to ring her and let her know when she wants a conversation that she can talk to me whenever she wants. Just let her know you're there for her, sort of same sort of thing. Just have that chat and just reassure them. And yeah, sort of went through a few different people in my life and did the same sort of thing. My mum was last, and basically just ring your mum more and tell her you love her. So that sort of things was stuff that it's cliche a little bit, but it just reiterated that. And it also said for you, and I sort of knew this already, that you need to be healthy. The healthier you are and the healthier your mindset is, the clearer you are in the brain, the better you are for everyone else around you. And like, you are an important person for your family. You're not that I need it to be anything, but if you want to help them, help yourself, do the right things, and that'll flow on. So yeah, like that was basically the crux of it. But then, so I was trying to find what does it say? Does it tell me I'm fucking Chinese, or who is this guy that it showed me? What is that? And I done some Googling, and I found it's Taoism or Taoism, which is an ancient Chinese sort of religion. I read some books about it, still learning about it, but their religion's really cool. It's like doing the right thing by others. It's peaceful. It's all this stuff. And 2 weeks later, I split up from Hamish. He went to Colombia and did his thing, and I went and caught up with some mates in Guatemala. And I was going through my bag, I was just checking fucking pockets and everything and making sure we were safe to get through airports and whatnot. And I opened this zip that I hadn't opened in a long time. I traveled with this bag to Central America in 2018. And I opened this zip, and in this zip, I found this little token, this little dude, which I'll show you, of pretty much exactly the person that I saw in my vision. And subconsciously, I didn't remember it at the time, but I remember buying that little thing from a little stall somewhere in Mexico. I looked at it. I remember liking it, buying it, put it in that pocket, and I never thought about it again. Did ayahuasca, saw that. So subconsciously, 8 years before, I bought that, looked at it, liked it, bought it, never thought about it again. And then 2 weeks after ayahuasca, I found it, and it was like, that was like really trippy. Because that was sort of like, that whatever spiritual stuff is going on here, that's just confirmed it for me. And Taoism, whatever that is, that religion, learning about it, and not saying that I'm going that way, but there's a book called The Four Agreements. Have you read that?
Be impeccable with your word.
Yeah. Very good book.
Fucking oath.
Really like that book. And that being impeccable with your word, there's a lot to that. Can't remember the other three at the moment. But
I can't, but that stuck with me massively. And that's the genesis of the Bible as well. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. And it's like, words are very powerful. The things we say are magic. They don't call it spelling for nothing. So if you are putting that energy out into the universe, it's out there forever. So when you say it, you mean it. Fucking do it. So when you want to say you want to do good, go out and do good. You say you're going to do something for someone, or you're going to do something, you do it. Because if you can't trust your word, we can't trust you at all.
Yeah. Without your word, you're nothing.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personally. Never make assumptions, and always do your best. Which are four very very good things to live by. And coming back from ayahuasca, from that trip, whether you said you saw a shift, and that's definitely part of it. I have fallen off the wagon, don't get me wrong, since then. Even just last week, I was I was having a few beers and stuff after work. Like I said, I go through stages where I don't drink and I do drink. And I remember thinking back to that ayahuasca, and I was like, man, you've done some shit that a lot of people haven't had, and you know some stuff, and you've got all this opportunity in front of you. You've got all this good things happening for you. Like, get back. You know, I don't fall off the wagon for as long as I used to. I'm like with the ice baths and the working out and walking the dog in the morning and going for runs, writing comedy. Like, I'm really trying to make the most out of. It's another thing that really gets drilled into you over there when you look around places like Peru, like Chile, the poverty, and they don't have anywhere near the opportunity that you and I have. The fact that you and I can sit down together, have a conversation around a pool, go to the fridge and get a drink, go and sleep on a comfy bed with a pillow, hang out with our mates, play football tomorrow. We're in 5% of the world that can do that. And if you want to fucking piss it up against the wall and waste the opportunities that you have with the life that you've been gifted, because no one chose to be here.
I think we all chose to be here, just consciously or unconsciously. So going back to what you were talking about when you asked, and the monk bloke said, like, you're here because you've lived many lives before. And if you want to get really spiritual, is when you go to choose this body to live this life, you write the contract, and because you said, you asked, why is life so easy? It's because you've lived so many hard lives before. You're paying off karma. You've done all the hard work, and now you're getting rewarded. And that's why people that do piss up these lives and they choose to do the opposite of the 4 agreements, and they live bad lives, they do wrong by people, and they have been given a fucking great opportunity, they're going to pay so much karma, and they're going to come back living a shit next life.
Come back as a rat.
Yeah, literally come back as a pig or something like that, or you wonder why bad things happen to people, and you think it's really horrible that a kid could endure such terrible things. It's like, well, don't take it personally. What their karma was, what they've done wrong, and that's why some people have shit lives. It's also a choice, but
it's part of it.
It's deeper than the one life you're living now. I think.
Which, if you're not into spirituality, and you're not willing to sort of dive into that, like, I think, even if you did do some bad things and you come back and you put in a shit situation, you still can change that around, but you need to be open to diving in and digging into yourself and working on yourself. Like, there's nothing easy about doing the right things, and like you have to knuckle down. You got to do the hard things, and it just makes everything so much better. Yeah. You do the things you don't want to do. You do the ice bars. You go for the runs. Like, I'm very big on, like, I've noticed myself when I'm working out. You don't have to be fucking crazy, but you've just got to be doing something to look after yourself. Like, this is the vessel that you've been given. You need to look after it, and that's first, and then things can sort of go on from there.
It's all a choice, right? Like you're saying, you're choosing to go for a run, you're choosing to do an ice bath, and that's hard. But that's a 3-minute ice bath. That's 3 minutes of hard. 20 minutes, an hour of a workout, of a run, that's hard. You know what else is hard? Having a fucking heart attack at 40 or 50 because you're obese and overweight. And that's a life choice where you could have chosen an hour of hard a day or 3 minutes of hard a day to make the rest of your life easier. So take a longer approach of your life. And when you're waking up in the morning, you're going, fucking snooze, no thanks. Or you get home from work and you can't be fuck cooking and you choose Macca's instead. Like, that's a couple minutes of easy. Choose a couple minutes of hard, of cooking a meal or doing the workout, because you're saving yourself maybe 20 extra years of life. Or, instead of, I've had a shit week, I'm going to get on the piss. And, it's really hard quitting smoking. It's like, what's harder? Your kids having to grow up without parents, grandparents, because you've died of lung cancer. Yeah. And, I think that's a lot harder than quitting something.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's people's own life. Do what you want. I love that you were talking about your brother and trying to push him to do things. It never really works trying to push someone to do something, because what works for you doesn't work for someone else. Like, everyone you meet in the world is a mirror of yourself. I don't know if you've learned that.
Yeah.
But listening to you talk, and I love that you talked about doing counseling, because for me, this is like therapy. Hearing you trying to push stuff on your brother and how it works for you, but it builds resistance from them. I have the same experience with my brother. And you just got to, as same as that little Taoist monk was telling you, lead with the light. You got to be healthy and do good, and others will follow you rather than you pushing them to do something. It's like trying to push two opposite batteries together. They just resist. But if you just clean your life up, and like you said before about the biggest benefit you can do for other people is help yourself, and they follow along. Like we wouldn't be having this conversation now if we hadn't done our own thing, and you go, oh, I'm interested in what you're doing because you're doing good. So I feel like that's the best thing you can do for anyone else is help yourself. And it's and then leaning into those mirrors as well. Watching other people do their own thing can be very beneficial for you as well. Because it even like, and I was saying to Rachel before, our parents are our best or my best teachers, and it doesn't have to be necessarily a good thing. It's being able to consciously consume what someone else is doing and then take that in yourself and go, all right, I can see what they're doing. Do I like that? Is that beneficial for me? I'll follow it, or I'll do the opposite.
Well, how good does it feel? I don't know if you get this, but I'm sure you do. Seeing someone else achieve something so good and you see the happiness on there. Like I watch Australian Idol, and when they kill it and their family's all happy, like I'm like, shit. Like I'm like half tear up because you're so happy. Like that's a quote where happiness is so amazing it doesn't even matter if it's yours. It's like seeing other people do well and achieve their goals is awesome. And on bigger stage, whether it's Australian Idol, whether it's someone doing well in comedy, whether it's someone winning a premiership, there's hard work that goes into all of those things. Doesn't have to be that big. It can be as little as seeing a friend overcome something that no one even else knows that that's a big deal. But you see it and you're like, that's a big deal for you, and I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for you. And you see those slow sort of steps, and that's where your friendship circles, they get smaller because you can only do so much for other people. Like you were just saying, you can only do so much. People need to find their own path, do their own journey. But when you see people making that progress and working on themselves, it's like, fuck yeah, go get it. I'll send a person a message I barely know and say, hey, I'm watching you on Instagram, whatever. Loving it. It's inspiring to me to see you succeeding. Keep it up. And I've had people message me about it with comedy and be like, I feel like, and it's that little message that you can send to someone. You might think that, they don't want to hear from me, but it's such a nice message to receive.
It can make someone's day. It can make someone's week. They could be on the verge of giving up and you've just given them enough to keep going.
Absolutely. This small poppy syndrome that we have as Australians, especially, I only speak for Australians because I'm an Australian, but that like bringing people down, you are more likely to criticise someone than compliment them. It's easy to criticise, it's hard to compliment.
Yeah.
Someone's doing shit, you'll tell them. But if they're doing good, for whatever reason, we don't. Like, tell your mates, tell a random in the street. You can stop someone and say, hey, I don't know, I look at people with kids differently now because I'm living with a toddler. You see someone that's up against it, the kids are fucking going off, and you just stop and you just sort of have a laugh and be like, it's a wild time, isn't it? And they're like, oh, okay, they relate. Like, don't worry that your kid's going off in a supermarket. We know that, that's how it is. You're all right. You're all good. Yeah, I know. People, those little things and that human touch, I think that we're losing through technology is so important. It's sort of scary to know that kids are growing up without the rough and tough, the rumble, just hanging out, just face to face value of stuff. It's human connection is so important. Without it, we become individuals, and I think as humans, love is the biggest thing. Love is the biggest driver. It's a love for something. It's a love for someone. It's love from someone else. Like without love, you become hateful, spiteful, hate the world, hate this, hate that. And you see that in people. See hateful people where everything is shit. This happened. Fuck that. Fuck this. That's happened because of that. Oh, fuck that person. It's like it's not them. It's not
projection.
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah.
You have hatred inside you.
Yeah.
You are drawing this in. You are only seeing the bad in the world. That's you. That's nothing else. This world's beautiful. The place is beautiful. There's so many awesome things about being a fucking human being that if you allow yourself to love, to feel love, sort of, there's nothing that compares to that.
When was the last time you felt love?
Right now.
Just anything. Like love, it doesn't have to be labeled.
Comedy, mate. That room last night, like emceeing that room, I love that. It makes me really happy. Looking down and seeing people laughing, that makes me happy. That's love coming straight back at you. There's 40 fucking people laughing and smiling at you. That's a room full of love. Yeah, that's definitely part of the reason why I like it. And outside the comment after the show, when people are in the hallway and everyone's happy, that's just love.
I have a question. When you were going into your ayahuasca journey and the questions you had, and you asked, why is life easy for you? Why is it going well? And obviously it's because you've observed pain in other people. It's an interesting question to ask because it's almost like this is too good to be true. Why is it so easy? Why did that come up? Because it feels like, I don't know. That's just an interesting question to ask because a lot of people that are on the negative side would be like, be grateful.
I am grateful though. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
But the way that I'm not exactly sure when it started, but nothing fucking bothers me that much. Like if something happens, I'm like, all right, what now? That's happened. What do we do about it? Like someone comes and goes, oh, this happened. No, we'll do this. No, we'll do that. So get to it.
Yeah.
You know, like it is what it is. Fucking carry on, son. Like, obviously, people, you know, that's where love and heartbreak can be. You lose someone and it's hard to move on. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about little things. Like, I've been adaptable and always gone with the flow, and the flow's always worked out. You hit a roadblock, all right, cool, I'll go this way. Or, no, I think that's going to work. I'm going to keep going down that road. And that mindset, I know, like I said, footy and growing up, like I think football and that discipline sort of probably started it, and resilience. And you've got to be, you know, when you're training hard, when you're trying to achieve something, you've got to knuckle down. But that, mates with anxiety or depression or whatever, like to me, I just don't feel it. So I'm like, why? I'm grateful for it. I love the fact that I can look at the world that way and it works for me. And I wish that everyone could look at the world the way that I look at the world. But no, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
And that's where that question come from, is like, why is that? Why me? Why don't I have depression?
Yeah.
Why aren't I anxious? Why don't I struggle in social situations?
And it seems like the lesson was like because you've done it before, you've done the work. And because for me, I observe it so often in people that, like we were talking about before, the silence in the conversation, people are so uncomfortable, so anxious, so they are clinging for something for safety, whether it's a vape. And I just say that that's a dummy for adults, you know, like it literally seems like I don't know what to do, just put something in there. Or that's why people snack or smoke durries or check their phone. And I feel like people don't realize that doesn't have to be their life. You don't have to be like that forever. You said something comes naturally to you, not so much for me, but that is there now. And it just starts with doing the work internally, asking yourself the questions like, why do I feel this way? And it's so awesome that you had that insight to ask the question within yourself as to like, why? Yeah. Because not many people do. People just go, oh, it just is what it is. That's the way life goes. And
I'm too much of a deep thinker for that. I think a lot, and like I said, I like to spend a lot of time by myself.
Yeah.
And I lived like before I got to Darwin, I was living in a troop carrier for 8 months, down the bush with my dog, a lot of time to think. So yeah, I think too deeply to just be like, well, yeah, just go with it, you know. And I want to help people. So I think understanding why that was for me. Well, it doesn't really change the way that I go about my shit, but it was just a question that I had. And it was really cool when it was just this little monk in a temple, and took me a while to actually work out what it was. Like at the time I was like, okay, I've lived some lives and that, but it was still like, so I'm Chinese now, or I come from Chinese descent, or whatever. But yeah, so it doesn't mean my ancestors were Chinese, but it's either at some point during some life, I was either that guy or I learnt from that guy.
Yeah, okay. So you feel a connection to him.
Yeah, he was like either myself in a past life or a sensei or a master of mine.
Have you listened to much Alan Watts or read much Alan Watts?
Nah.
Be a person to look into.
Yeah.
Because he was a guy in the 60s, 70s who brought the East to the US. He was an English guy. He talks a lot about Taoism, Zen Buddhism, and brought that to the masses. If you go to listen to any psytrance and there's a guy talking in the background, some spiritual shit, that's him. Yeah. And he's iconic. Have you heard of Ram Dass? So Ram Dass is another one. Through the 60s, experimented with acid, and that was like the whole hippie free love movement. And he ended up going and studying in India, and he'd come back here and do all these talks. And started through psychedelics and ended up just, you can reach it without drugs. It's all meditation, and did all the work and bought all of that medicine here and started just preaching and talking to people. And I've just brought all this Eastern wisdom and, all of the stuff that you brought up that you came to in your ayahuasca thing, that's stuff that I've listened to from them talking about. It's the past lives, all of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Helping other people, like Ram Dass, his quote is literally, if you want to help the world, start with yourself, help yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be some guys to look at. Like I just gifted my Ram Dass Be Here Now, that's the book, to a friend the day I flew out. Yeah.
Oh, it was meant to go to that guy. I'll find it.
Yeah. So, but it's great. Alan Watts they've got plenty of stuff on YouTube you can listen to.
I will.
Unreal. And that's, digestible, amazing. But they were massive in bringing that to the West.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you want to learn more about it, I have to read books. You can listen to it, but
it is, since, like they say, the ayahuasca, like it'll stay with you for as long as you let it. And so when I do those ice bars, when you guys aren't here, I put on shamanic music.
Yeah.
It's a flute music. I didn't tell you actually about the end of the trip, but so they play the flute at different points and they sing at different points in the ceremony. So when I was fucking up against it, tripping balls, like deep in it, she would just start singing this Quechua. I'll find it on YouTube and I'll show it. It's like the most beautiful thing I've ever heard in my life. And she was just sitting in the corner, and we found out later on that because she did the ayahuasca with us, she was feeling all the shit that we were going through individually and making sure we were okay. Like she could see our trips. Yeah. She could see what we were seeing. And at the end, to close the ceremony, she went around in the circle and she sat at the end of the nurses made you sit up and you sat like we were, facing her, and she sat at the end of the bed and just sung to you an individual song for, I don't even know, like you'd lose track of time, whether it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but she just sung this song and it was basically like it allowed you to come back. She said, hey, you're safe, you're back, we have you, we've got you, you're okay. And the song that she sung, like it was different for everyone, and can still just remember being face to face with her. And she's just like the most beautiful little lady, like Peruvian, wrinkled, tough face, like I can remember that moment being like, this is fucking crazy. That was crazy. This is wild. And I went back and read a heap of stuff in my notepad and everything. And the next day we sort of could do Q&A with her. And she was sort of laughing. Like I said to her, I was like, that must be hard work. It must be exhausting going through what we're going through and doing it for a job. And she said, yeah, she's like, it is. I'm exhausted by the end of it. The ceremonies, they're all different. Some people freak out, some people whatever. But that's her purpose. That's her God-given purpose in life, to share this medicine with people, to help people. And she, just brought that back in. And then just quickly with that Canadian girl, Morgan, she said the first night said, forget about your dad. You need to leave him behind. The second night was like, it showed her some other things in her life that she needed to improve. So she was like really happy. She was all good. And then she stayed for the 5-day retreat. So they had a day off and then they did a third ceremony, and we caught up with her after she got back, and she said on the third time brought her dad back to her and said you needed to forget about him for me to be able to bring it back, which and then she was like over the moon, because it's like it's like this lesson that she was taught, and then she got to speak to her dad and she got everything she wanted out of the ceremony. And it was just a wild sort of ride for her. Like everyone's experience with it is so different. Yeah. I think that's what makes it beautiful. And it doesn't work for everyone. There was a kid in there that he saw death. He couldn't stop seeing death. Right. He freaked out. He didn't talk to anyone the next day. He didn't do the second ceremony. He went home early. Fucked him up. Yeah. But he'd also done it like 2 weeks beforehand. Didn't get much out of it, but his brother got what he wanted to get out of it. So he come back chasing this dragon. Yeah. And I don't know, I hope he's still alive. I don't know what happened to this kid, but they say like, if you need to do it again, you'll know when it's time. Yeah. And I think I will do it again. Like I think I've sort of got a plan, not a plan, but I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. 10 years, I'm 30. In 10 years' time, as a 40-year-old, I've got 10 years to work on these things, and I know that by the time I get to 40, I will be somewhere good. I will be somewhere that
Do you think you're not somewhere good now?
That's a good point. I do. I really like where I'm at. I just know that because I am enjoying what I'm doing, like they say, find something you enjoy doing cliche bullshit, but find something you enjoy doing, and it's not.
You never work it down in your life.
Never work it down in your life.
Yeah.
And where the comedy is that for me, I know it's hard to make money out of comedy, but I do really enjoy it. So I don't really care where it goes. I just like doing it. I like being around the people that are there. And I've essentially found through some searching and going places I didn't know where I was going, and just letting life take me wherever it wanted to, and saying yes to shit and doing that and getting out of my comfort zone, and just whatever things I thought I wanted to do, I just made sure I've done them. I wanted to learn how to surf. I taught myself how to surf in Mexico. I wanted to live in a car by myself. I bought a troopy and lived in a car by myself. Like, things that you want to do, there's a reason that you want to do those things. You have to do those things. You live once. Do that shit. Like, my 20s were, I just did shit. I didn't have any money. I don't have any money now, 30 years old. But I've done the shit that I wanted to do in my 20s, and I've found myself in a place where I've got now a direction. You don't know what the fuck you're doing when you're 20. You don't know what you're doing when you're 25. Like, you need to do some shit to work out what you want to do. And now, like it could change for me in 4 or 5 years' time, but I've found myself in a spot that I really enjoy. I love Darwin. I love the people I'm with. Love the footy club. Love the comedy. Work's good. I'm in a place where I can see myself just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's exciting.
I would preach that to any person here. It's 20 now and is in a rush to have everything sorted. Just do what feels good. Because the amount of mates that now they go to me, oh, I wish I could do that. I wish I could do that, but I've got this. It's like, well, because everyone's so worried about getting safe. I need to have savings first. I need to do this first. Oh, no, you don't. Just fucking do what feels good.
I had a guy say to me when I was over in Nicaragua, he's not exactly the best guy to take advice off. We were pretty lit up, but he said, fucking don't worry about your 20s. Your 20s is for living. Your 20s is for partying. Your 20s is for not necessarily partying, but your 20s is for just doing shit. Don't try and get anywhere in your 20s. Just get to wherever you go, and then have a think about it when you're 30. But if you turn 18, you leave the house. You're trying to tell me you've got that's a 12-year window out of your whole life that's not that long. People, and again, everyone's life different, but you leave home, you have a 5-year window, or you don't even give yourself that chance to see what's up.
Yeah.
Give yourself those 20s. Give yourself the 30s if you need it. Happiness is success. Happiness is paramount, tops everything. You can have the most money, you can have this, that, you can have all the things you think you wanted and not be happy.
How many mates, they go, oh yeah, I'd love to do that, but I can't because of work. Fuck work. Money will be like, you can find work wherever. Chase what's happy first, because you can't take your material possessions to the grave. You can take all the experiences to the grave.
But you've got time. Like, you do, in a way, depending on what you want. You want to buy a house, you want to raise a family, you want to have kids, but you've got time. You don't have to do everything before you're 25. Like I said, give yourself your 20s. Just let your 20s be your 20s. Have fun, do your thing. And if you need your 30s as well, fine.
I was going to say, if we catch up in 10 years, we'll probably say the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I sort of said that when I turned 30, I'd settle down, I'd buy a house. Now, that when I was 23, I sort of said that. But now it's not, I do have more vision and goals now than I did even 2 years ago.
What are some vision and goals? What are your visions and goals at the moment?
It's not, I wouldn't say it's just a vision of, I think I just know if I keep doing the things that I'm doing, I don't know exactly what it'll be, but I think things will work out.
Have you thought about writing them down?
I have written down some goals. I had a before 30 goals. Run a marathon was one of them, and I looked at that list 3 weeks before I turned 30 and nearly killed myself running around trying to train for a marathon in 3 weeks. And I ran 150 Ks in a month or something, trying to prepare for a marathon. And then, I sort of need a bit more prep for that, but that's on the list. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose I could write some goals down, but I don't know what the goals are. Like I said, I'm just happy living and doing what I'm doing and trusting that the universe will bring me whatever it has in mind for me, Yeah, I don't expect anything from this life. I just know that if I live it in a way that is true to myself, then it'll pan out.
Yeah, it's a great way to live.
Yeah. And it's a pretty simple mantra.
Yeah.
And it's easy to lose sight of for a lot of people, and it's not that easy for everyone. But yeah, that positive energy, doing good things for yourself, doing good things for other people is enriching, enlightening. Yeah, you need to. It's a human nature to love and care, and it feels good doing that.
Yeah, 100%.
Care for your mates, care for your family. Check in with your mates, check in with your family. Put others before yourself, and you'll be better off for it.
So I know you've seen partly what I do on Instagram and that with Men Over Matter, but obviously mental health's a massive topic. But I think we far too often forget about, or some people don't even like, it's because it's too woo-woo or gay or whatever you want to call it, but spiritual health. So you got your mental health, which is, you know, looking after that. You got your physical health, which is gym, eating good, like we do organic food, but spiritual health. And I think for me, spiritual health is knowing that you're looking after and looking towards something greater than yourself, whether that's a god or a monk or a Buddha or whatever you want, or just others.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, especially being a man, is knowing that we're a provider. We are making sure the family's okay, the kids are okay, your mates are okay, employees, colleagues are all right, and that your mental health, your spiritual health is your purpose. Something greater than yourself, whether that's, you know, what you're meant to do in life, who you're meant to protect. And that's something that's so often forgotten, and that feeds into the other things. When you don't have a purpose or direction, you're not working out because you don't need to be healthy for something. And then your mental health shit because you're not looking after your body, and then you feel like shit.
Yeah, you sabotage yourself.
Yeah, and then it's a cycle. So I think spiritual health is something that's so neglected with people in the world and not having any direction. And that's why we are in a world that's, a lot of people are struggling.
Yeah. For you, as a word of advice, if someone is struggling, to find a purpose doesn't necessarily mean that you've got to change the world, but you can help something or someone, find a friend, find a family member, find a...
Dude, look within.
Look within.
You make yourself feel better, and that through that, you know, because you could be in the pits, you could be really fucking struggling. And if you can pull yourself out of that, and then your friends, your circle, a stranger witnesses the change in you, they believe that they could do that in themselves. It's like, you know, you said Hamish has been in some pretty dark shit. If you've seen him get out of that, like, you know, being from Melbourne, you see plenty of meth addiction. And like you said, not many people make it out, but you've witnessed him get out of that. So now you can relay that on someone else going through it. So like you said, you know, someone else is going through it, won't mention their name, but you go, well, I know you can fucking get through it because Hamish has gotten through it.
Yeah.
Like there's evidence that this can be done.
Yeah.
You aren't hopeless. That it can be done. And I think that's huge. So working on yourself.
It's not necessarily easy. It's not meant to be either.
No.
It's not meant to be easy.
Yeah.
Life's not easy.
Correct.
Work at it, stick at it, look after your mates. Pretty simple concept.
I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to get into a thing that we were talking about before, and we were talking about our dads. And I think most guys, a lot of their stories about their dads. And again, like I said, these conversations are like therapy for me. And we talked about drinking and smoking weed, and you said we'll save it for this chat. And I don't want to walk away from the chat knowing that there was something left on the table. And so I talked about how I feel as though a lot of men, older men, our dad's generation, so early 60s, have stuff that they don't feel comfortable talking about. And these conversations aren't had between men in that age, especially sober. And most of our mates will have these conversations around a setting like this. It's 9, 8 p.m. They're usually around 3, 4 a.m. And my dad's generation, I've definitely heard stories from my dad that he was just as loose as I once was, and he still struggles with drinking and smoking weed, and I believe that's masking something that he's not ready to deal with. And you said that was something similar for you. Can you speak from your experience with that, having a dad that was similar, and how that's affected you as a young man and into an adult?
Yep. So Mum and Dad split up when we were 9, so we were still living in Darwin, but Dad moved to the city for work, which now as an adult, knowing that moving from Waggaman to the city for work is a 15-minute drive.
It's a long way in Darwin.
He wasn't saving himself much time, so it was obviously more going on than they let us kids know about. But so we essentially grew up without a dad. Even when we were in Darwin, he wasn't really around a lot. But Mum saw that he wasn't going to give us what we sort of wanted from him. Like we were kids and we just wanted him to get so excited when he'd come home or whatever. And he was just out partying and just didn't grow up. She moved us down south and we sort of had a relationship where we'd come back and forth. But I was always very different to my sister and my brother and my mum. I had this rebellious side. I wanted to drink. I wanted to smoke. I wanted to do all these things, like, you know, from a pretty young age. Also, like the boys I was growing up with, that's what we were doing. But when I finished high school, I moved back to Darwin and moved in with Dad as a 17-year-old. And we would sit together and drink and smoke weed around the table till the sun come up, having conversations. And it was like, this is where I come from. This is me. This is where my personality is from. I look more like I look more like a Coburn, my mum's family, but I'm not different. I'm just like my dad. So it was sort of a cool realization that, I guess, like I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But he is, drinks and smokes, and he's a very good friend of mine. He's not a father figure, but he's a very good friend of mine, and we still catch up a lot. Yeah, he'll drink every night, smoke weed every night, and that's fine. I don't have anything against smoking weed. I still smoke weed a lot myself. But yeah, he doesn't do deep conversations and he doesn't do them well. He's said some things to me over the past in times that he has really sort of hurt me with the things that he's said about me and my siblings, and sort of like he has this wall where he doesn't care. And there's been a few hard things, but one hard thing was once we were so I was here for about 8 months, then I moved back down south. So he knew, like, he'd met me as an adult and we'd spent some time together, but I'd still have to ring him. He never wanted to stay in touch with me. And that was something me and my brother both spoke about. It was like, fuck, we grew up and turned into good men and good adults without you. And you still don't want to know us. But he would, if you're in his backyard and you're there, he's there with you. Hey, yep, sweet. If you're outside of his fucking, out of sight, out of mind sort of thing. And then through the years of doing my own work, like I idolised him for a bit. At one of my sister's weddings, I got hammered on red wine, and once I sort of worked out that he cheated on Mum, and he'd sort of got away with that, like as, 13, 14, 15, coming back every year, he'd take us fishing, and we're like, we get to go see Dad, this is awesome. And Mum protected him and us kids so well that she never shit-talked him. We just sort of worked out as we got older, like, hey, hang on, what happened? What went down? And my mum struggled with alcoholism and stuff. Her brother died in a truck accident a few years after we moved down south away from here, and he was so big in helping her build a house with 3 kids and fucked Mum up. And then I had a good go at Dad at one of my sister's weddings, and that was where I got him, because I said to him on a night before, I was like, hey, we want to have a chat this weekend. And he goes, yeah, no worries, fucking whatever. We're staying over. We're in the hinterlands in Queensland, north of Brisbane. And we ended up just getting pissed and stoned and not having the chat. But the next night I was on the Reds, pretty fired up, and I said to him, I want to have a chat. And we were sitting around the barrel, like the ceremony and stuff were done, and we were sitting around the barrel, and I was like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like, you got away with fucking being a piece of shit, and just want you to know that, we know all the stuff, and Mum protected you and she didn't have to, and she's a good woman, and I'm glad we left, and without Mum, it was a fuck you. And his response was, across this barrel, he goes, what do you want to fucking fight about it, Jack? I was like, no, cunt, I don't want to fight about it. That's the thing. I just want to tell you, you're a piece of shit. You never fucking spoke to us about it. You never had the balls to speak to me and my brother as young men, as growing adults, and fucking, you never took responsibility for your shit. You just hid behind this thing that you were our dad. You hid behind that. You're a gutless cunt. And then after that, it was probably another 6 months of a little bit of shit, but I just ended up letting it go and forgiving him and taking him now for what he is. I don't expect anything from him anymore. I know that I can go there, have a drink with him, have a smoke. If I'm off the piss, I'll still smoke some weed with him and have a good chat. He is a good guy. He's a fun person to be around. I think where I say him and I are similar, I think that he also did very well in his life, and I think he could have been anything. I think he studied law, but then he moved to Darwin when he was 25 or 6, and someone stole his motorbike, and he got a job as a car salesman because they said company car included. stayed in car sales for the next 25, 30 years. But drank, smoked, and got out of life what he put into it.
Yeah.
And the result is now that, look, he still has a good life and he loves Darwin and he's got good friends and he lives on the golf course and he plays golf, he's retired. Shit turned out all right for him, you know? But, yeah, he drinks and smokes and that's what he's happy doing. I don't have any, like, resentment towards him at all. I love him. Yeah, now you just sort of know what you get. It's sort of, it fucked my brothers and sisters up a little bit more than me because they have kids and they sort of wanted him to, you know, sometimes the granddad will come back and be a better granddad than they were a father, but he hasn't done that either. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed, but I've also spent a lot more time with my dad than they have since leaving. Like, I come back and live with him and, like they don't drink and smoke, so they haven't sat around a table with him for fucking 150 hours.
Yeah.
Covering the topics that we've covered, you know. So I'm definitely closer to him than they are. But I just sort of said that to him. I was like, look, don't expect anything from Dad. Don't think that he's going to message you on your birthday. Don't think that he's going to send your kid a present. Don't think that he's going to ring you on Christmas.
Do you think he doesn't do that because he's afraid that, like, he actually feels shit? He doesn't want to message you in case you don't message him back because he doesn't feel like he deserves communication from you because he's been such a shit dad?
Nah, we'll always message him back. Always have.
Yeah. Because do you think he, like, holds a lot of guilt? Like you said, his dad was pretty hard as well, and he's just avoidant because he's hurt?
Yeah. Oh, there's definitely things he didn't cover. Like, I haven't really had that many deep conversations with him. Like, and if we have, we've been fucked up, like you're saying. Whether we might have covered some stuff and he's opened up a little bit to me. But I think now it's just a point of, he's got a saying that's to catch your Senefraga. To catch your Senefraga, which is who gives a fuck. That's the way he looks at me. It might, even if he does feel a bit of guilt or he does feel a little bit of that he let people down, like he's just like, he fucking cares.
But you think that's just a mask?
It is, man, but it's also that strong of a mask that you couldn't tell him that it's a mask.
Yeah, it's his identity.
It's his identity. They're too far gone to look within. And like I said, that's why I just take it for how it is now, take him for how he is, because he's got some good qualities about him. He's just not a dad. He's a good mate. He's a mate. Yeah. He's a fun cunt to get on the piss with. A good guy to know, likes having a good time, likes fishing, likes an adventure. He's down for all that shit.
Yeah.
But
he's a legend of the pub, not a legend of the homes.
Yeah. Even the fact that he named me and my brother Jack and Daniel. Jack Russell, Daniel Russell, he would have gone to the pub. He was at the pub half an hour after we were born. He did fuck all to raise us. I know that for a fact. He was at the pub half an hour after we were born, and I guarantee there's a conversation where he goes, I had twins. What'd you name them? Jack and Daniel. Oh, you didn't, did you? Yeah, I did, yeah. Jack Russell, yeah. And I remember I asked him, years later why he said that. And I've actually got a granddad named, a great-granddad, Jack Russell. He fought in the war. Interestingly enough, he's got tattoos and a mustache. My granddad's granddad or something. I've seen a photo of him. There's one photo of him that we've got, and he's got tattoos and a mustache, which is sort of weird.
It is very weird. You're not finding many blokes back then.
Nah. But that guy, and my dad looks at this fella as a legend, but he drank himself to death, lost his family, lost his kids. He ended up drinking himself to death alone. And like the dad's told me this story about, your fucking great-granddad Jack Russell was a legend, mate, piss drinking fucking legend. That's who he like idolizes. Yeah. And then my dad's girlfriend now has said like, but what happened to him? How'd he end up? Oh yeah, everyone left him, but drank till the end, Yeah. And like, there's a few things that Dad says to me, it's like that where, like I said, now it doesn't get to me because I don't think of like, it used to annoy me that like, man, like you don't, or that hurts, you're my dad, you should say something nice. But now I'm just like, I don't look at it like, it's more like, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
But not enough I'm not trying to help him either.
Yeah. I think that comes down to that don't take a personal agreement and say, fuck, it's your journey. Because if you got caught up in the way that everyone lived their life, it'd be fucking so hard. He's like, fuck, why aren't you doing better? Like you should be, you got so much potential. And I see that in my dad as well. He's like a smart-witted guy. Like, he brings himself down. He's his own worst enemy for sure. And we attach ourselves to other people so often that we wouldn't go anywhere if we were so concerned about everyone else. And I think that's a quality that you've obviously gotten is just not holding on to shit, letting it go, not caring. But it seems like it's something you've learned from your dad, which was a negative trait for him, but it turned out to be a really positive one for you. Yeah. So I guess you can thank him for that, not sweating anything.
There's a lot of traits that I've gotten from him that I know that he could have, and I will use them in a positive way.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I still look at it, and I love looking at lineage. And I mean, we're in Darwin, generational trauma is all around us, and I see that my brother's taking on my dad's shit. And then your dad's obviously got stuff. You said that his dad was a copper, and there's a lot of stuff there that's you've taken the positive role of that, of not letting your emotions get the best of you, and being really resilient. But your dad wasn't there to be an emotional support from your mum for you guys as kids.
Yeah.
And that was a negative for him. And now it's so awesome for you to be an uncle and go, wow, I fucking saw what sucked for me as a kid. I'm definitely not letting that happen. And when it comes time for you to have a kid as well, you know what you lacked as a child and what you can provide as a parent.
Oh, mate, I see it in my brother now with my twin brother with his boy Ted in there. Like that generational thing, and then it still baffles me. It's when that abuse gets handed down, they get abused, and then they abuse. Like I just don't get it. Like Daniel will and does do anything for that kid. His life is that kid, and he just wants that Ted to grow up with guidance. I look at people with dads that were present and with good dads, and I'm like, fuck, that'd be cool. To have someone that's like, hey, Dad, I've got this. And you say, like it's a guardian.
Yeah.
There's so much benefit to having that. And like I said, I turned out all right without it. And so did my brother. And so did you.
Yeah, I give props to my dad. He was always there at footy and stuff like that. Not at cricket as well, even. And he always made a point to say he was proud of me, because I know he had a fucked childhood with his dad. His dad was a boxer, came across from Tunisia in like the 40s, 50s, and like he's Italian heritage, so all of them. But getting punched in the head for your whole life from 14, he's got CTE and pretty abusive. So my dad had a fucked childhood. So I know he was doing the best he could with what he had, and he wasn't trying to repeat what his dad did, but he still got a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think trying to give them grace and remembering they did the best they had with the skills that they had, which they obviously had a pretty fucking small base.
We're lucky to have the internet, and we're so aware of what's good for us and what's not. Like they didn't have that.
All they had to learn from was the people around them.
Yeah.
And if they learn, if the only blokes they've got are the blokes at a pub.
Exactly.
That's
why there's no resentment there for me. Again, you did what you did. Your life ended up being the way it ended up being. You are who you are through whatever life path you took. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But having someone say they're proud of you is a really cool thing. I had a mate's old man and mum, they're good friends of mine too. They came to a comedy show a few weeks ago, and after the show, my mate's old man said, "Oh, I'm proud of you." And I was like, I just haven't heard that from a. He just said it, but to me, I was like, it was really cool to hear that from a male figure. Yeah. It's a weird sort of few words that maybe people don't hear enough, but it's a powerful few words to know that someone is proud of you. And Ted will hear it throughout his whole life, and he'll have that support and from myself and from Daniel and from everyone around him. And shaping young men and adults and girls as well. I've got nieces as well, and I just can't see how. That's another thing that baffles me and my brother. Like, we fucking love Ted so much. It's like, how the fuck didn't you want to be around this? How didn't you want to experience the kids' laughter and play in the pool? And it's so much fun. Like, it's awesome.
He must have had some serious demons that he wasn't ready to deal with, to, make you so emotionally disconnected from your own kids. So imagine having that empathy and thinking, well, fuck, what's happened to you to make you like that? Like, you walk past all the people we're seeing on, I see it must be Street in Darwin, or at the bus stop on Cavenagh Street, and you think, fuck, the way you guys treat your own family, it's like, what the fuck's happened to you to be like that? And that's the way I look at it when I see that stuff, and like having that love for my dad to go, well, if you have to live your life your way, and I asked him what's so hard about your life that you have to smoke and drink, and that I didn't see him for a bit after that. That was 2023, and he didn't take it well because he was pissed at the time as well. And I was like, I can't fucking be here. My parents, I was going there for dinner, I left, But since then, he's kind of tried to do a little bit about it. He's got, I said no to a beer and blah, blah, whatever. Like, he's still doing the same
it's
shit.
good though that you put it on him a bit, and he's obviously gone away and thought about it. It's a good thing.
But it like knowing that I know he had a rough childhood, I haven't had the balls to ask properly yet. I would love to do this, have a sit down, like, don't have to record it, but have this conversation with him. But it's still uncomfortable for me to bring up. But I know that he's had some shit. His dad's had some shit. I don't know where it starts, but that's trauma is something I'm really interested in now through the books I've read. It's interesting. And then having that understanding that, you know, the fucking schizophrenic bloke that walks to Woolies yelling and screaming at it himself. He wasn't born like that.
Yeah.
Something that's happened to him or happened down the line that I don't think people are born to not want to love their kids and that sort of thing. That's shit that's ingrained in, like, there's been.
It's another one of those
habit. Yeah.
One of those agreements is don't assume. That's another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Like don't assume, don't take it personal. Like, it's not your shit that he was the way he was. That's his own shit that he couldn't deal with.
Yeah. I think what you're doing and having these conversations with people is a really good thing. And I hope that people listen to your podcast and get something out of them, because they're a conversation and it's an easy chat, and it's been nice to talk about all this sort of stuff. And hopefully I can see what you're doing. I can see what your goal is and what your vision is. And I think it's really good. You know, like it says, counselling for you to be really good for you and your development moving forward. And
I can't afford to pay for a counsellor, so thanks. Spread us some cash.
How long have we been going for?
It's 8:20 now. I don't know what time we started.
Yeah, I'm about $110 an hour, mate. So
That's cheap, counsellor.
Is it?
But I went to a workshop a couple of weeks ago in Melbourne, and the biggest takeaway I had was how beneficial I think having someone to talk to that has no bearing on your life would be, because they just a blank slate, and and also they're a professional and they're trained. So they're just letting you talk, and that's half the medicine is just getting the shit out there. But then they can go, all right. But yeah,
it's felt good to even just talk about that stuff with you. So. I have talked about it before, but it's nice to talk about it and talk to someone that is listening. Yeah, you get something out of it. Like you said, just sort of getting it out there. And with the counselling thing, I think I will do that. Like I said, again, I'm okay, but I think everyone should do it. I'm a bit scared because I'm like, fuck, I feel all right. And they say it makes you remember things that you've pushed down. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I want to remember stuff.
That's because I'm the same. But I think there's something deeper in me, and I've talked about it in fucking all these podcasts. I think I'm so good at letting things go because it's so pushed down that I just avoid it.
I heard you say you need to have an emotional, you're ready for some sort of breakthrough. You feel like you need to, what was it, break your heart open or something?
Yeah. Because I just don't. I'm so like emotionally closed off that nothing bothers me. But it's like, all right, what are you protecting so much?
Go to counselling, Screw.
Yeah. So
this is your counselling though, so you're ticking it off. Yeah,
I'm doing somewhat of it, and I think this is like, again, I think all people, not just men, should be able to have these conversations, and again, not like do it sober, do it. I mean, if you need to do it your way, but I think it needs to be done.
Sit down and just have a chat with a mate.
Yeah, that's the goal with Men Over Matter, is to create a space for people to be heard. I'm not there to fix anyone. I'm there just so you can fucking talk and feel safe doing it. Because, like you said, you may have had the chat with your dad, but you don't remember. Like you could have. But creating that bond and remembering it with someone, you've been able to talk to someone that's met you that deep that you'll never forget those moments, and that creates a really special bond. And that's why footy clubs do get so close. Like you said, we were just having a chat before. You do need to have that session with someone to really truly get
break the ice a bit.
Yeah, and I do think that there's a place for alcohol because the world's just not in a position where we can have chats like this. Like, people do need it, and I think it's necessary. Like, I choose to not drink myself, and that's because I know that there's work for me to be done to be able to be that person that I can be drunk, to be that person sober. Like, has its place.
It definitely does. Something therapeutic about sitting around a beer garden drinking beers with your mates.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if there's many things better than it, to be honest. There's things on par. I know, sitting down, I go in ways where I drink and don't drink. And I think one day eventually I won't drink at all. I know I'm better without it, but fuck, sitting down in a beer garden where you know you've got a full day and the next day with your mates on the piss.
I think it's the
Cool.
freedom because, like, you know, a footy trip or going away, it's going, all right, now I
So-
can switching off.
It's the chats though.
Yeah. Like,
You're
it's not the
sitting there.
taste. I mean, a
Look.
beer on a hot sunny day and a beer garden feels good, but it's not because it's the what's in it. It's
Yeah.
everything else that's
Happens with it.
Yeah.
Which is having a chat, having a laugh.
You don't have
It
to
is
work
alcohol
tomorrow.
induced, but it is that. That's what I really enjoy about it. Is you do sit down. You might be having a beer, but it's like, hey, what the fuck have you been doing for the last couple of years?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Like I said with my mates, we just go camping and like, I've been a sober spectator the last few times. But you just go and get loose and the things you come home with, the inside jokes,
Yeah.
the dumb shit you've been doing. And that's half the fun of it.
Yeah.
It's just being carefree and knowing that you don't have to work. You got nowhere to be for the next couple of days, no obligations. You don't need to get pissed for that, but it does enhance it because you let the walls down.
Mm.
Yeah. I think one day we'll get to a society where we don't need to have walls up. But yeah.
We've got some work to do.
Yeah.
We got some
That's
shit
what we're here
going
for.
on.
Yeah. Anyway, good place to wrap it up, I reckon. Thanks heaps for the chat. I appreciate it.
Good to chat to you, man.
No, thank you. Thanks for being so open to have the chat and talk about the things you did.
No worries.